with no noise, otherwise we'll get a bunch of
We're live.
It says meeting is now streaming live on Facebook. There we go. Hey everybody, looks like we're live. Yes, we're live. Yay! Well, welcome. So this is the first series of live Zoom chats that we decided to do to talk a little bit, not just about Run for Women, but to do different topics. So we're Moncton based and we get to go first, you know, so we're going to hit it out of the park and we're going to stress out all the other charities across the country because they're like, whoa, we're not going to be able to do this amazing Zoom call. So today we're going to go around, everybody can introduce themselves one at a time, and then we'll talk about the run a little bit. So Cindy J, I have two Cindy's, I remember. Cindy J, you can go first.
Well, I'm Cindy J, I guess to start it off with. I volunteered and have participated with the Run for Women, both, and can't say enough good things about what the Shoppers Run for Women, as well as the Beausejour Family Crisis Center, do in our community.
Excellent. Jill.
I'm Jill. I'm usually one of our captains for the Moncton-based running room team. So I've been participating in the Run for Women since it began in Moncton. And I help out as well wherever else I can during the setup and preparation process.
Thank you. Nadine.
I'm Nadine Larsh. I have participated before with my girls. Just think it's super important to the community and something that I really hold dear is this Run for Women. And it benefits the charity too, so win-win.
Exactly. Dylan.
I'm Dylan in Moncton. I have not done the run personally due to a previous sports injury. However, I am very happy to say that my office has participated in it in the run last year, and I have been so proud to help out the Beausejour Family Crisis Center in Shediac a number of times, and I look forward to continuing to help Kristal and the girls, because like the work is just insane.
He is the IKEA builder furniture extraordinaire at the new facility. So if you need a bed built, he's your guy.
I brought my ex to that. So I brought my former fiance to help build IKEA furniture.
Dedication.
So really bringing families back together is
right. Cindy, last Cindy.
Hello, Cindy Gillum. I am the associate owner for Shoppers Drug Mart, North End, Lansbury Plaza. I've participated in the run. Well, let's be honest, I walk. And I've been the lead associate for several years for the region. I have another girl that's helping out this year as well. So mental health is super important to me and has been for years. Had some personal situations over the years. So it's really important, and I enjoy participating, helping to raise money, and helping Kristal is phenomenal because she's a phenomenal person.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I'm not supposed to cry in this call. It was one of the things I'm not allowed to do. It's supposed to be fun and uplifting. And as a therapist, people think we can't cry, like we're not supposed to. So yeah, Cindy has one of the busiest stores in Moncton. So she tends to be so rock awesome at the blue sneaker icons, which I should have brought one to show, blue sneaker icons that they sell at the stores. Last year, they did over $10,000, all the shoppers together with those sneaker icons, which is amazing. So she just has a really busy store. So I'm even more impressed that she takes it on, because usually if you're a busy store, you don't really have time to help with charitable things. So thank you, Cindy. So yeah, we wanted to chat. We're going to talk about different things, but first let's talk about the run. And so we wanted to talk about, things in other years that we kind of remember, funny things. I'm thinking of a couple of funny, embarrassing things, things that we really enjoy. Some of the stuff that we might miss, but then some of the stuff that we're super excited that, we're going to go virtual and still have a really great time. So Cindy J, do you have any funny stories about the run? I'm sure you do.
Me? I would have no funny stories whatsoever. I've run and I have walked when I participated in the run. But when I wasn't able to do so because of an injury that I had, I actually became the loudest cheerleader. And by loudest, I don't necessarily mean vocally loud, although it was that too, but I dressed loud, pink and purple tutu, orange vest, can't tell you what kind of socks, carrying all kinds of funny signs and cheering people, or should I say distracting people from the voices in their heads that are saying, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know if I can do this, kind of thing. So I was the distraction on that halfway point.
I still remember an epic picture moment with your husband, Larry.
Oh, we were both wearing tutus.
Wearing the tutus. And
not just tutus either, they were matching tutus.
Yeah, and I think in a way, like, he had a big part in breaking the barrier and creating that conversation that while it's entitled to Run for Women, there's very much a role for men to play in participating and raising money. And because we didn't have a lot of men when we first started it, like the first couple of years. So I think Larry the tutu is needed,
and he's a huge supporter of not just the Run for Women, but he's my biggest supporter, and I know that he's an amazing father to both our girls as well. And so yes, it's really, really important to have our male allies helping us, because they're going to be the first people that we're going to turn to for support when we're having a crisis or an issue, and to talk to or to help guide us through some of those things. So yeah, it's incredibly important for sure. And yes, I can talk him into just about anything, including a pink and purple tutu.
Yes, and also swag bags.
Swag bags.
Nowadays, we're spoiled where our swag bags come, all ready for us, all ready to go. And I will show swag bag in a second because that's what people really want to see. But we used to have to bag swag bags.
Yes, hours on end. It was always cold when we were stuffing the swag bags, and it was always hot when we were running. I was thinking, it should always be the other way around. But yeah, the pizzas and everything else. We did a lot of stuffing, and it didn't. Whether it was Jill and kids that her kids and my husband and myself and. A group of other people that all got together and helped. And it wasn't just those swag bags. There were other things that all had to be done too. That was just a very small part of everything that we had to put together for the run. So it is a group effort for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I'm seeing in the chat that somebody's asking us to show the photo. I'm assuming she means of the actual swag bag. So we'll go back.
She means the photo of her and the nice tutu.
Oh,
I was going to say, I think she means the photo of Cindy and Larry.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's what she means. I'll try and find it and put it like below in the comments, unless Cindy, you find it in the meantime.
I have no objection. It's on my face. It's on my face.
It's an adorable photo.
Yeah.
It's epic. And even though we're gone virtual, I still highly recommend the tutu wearing. Like, I mean, that doesn't need to be an only in-person thing.
No, I mean, it was really just for us. It was I don't know what I think in that particular time I had finished doing I can't remember whether that was the time that I'd finished doing the run, because he was doing the 10 and I was doing the 5, or whether I was doing the cheerleading and I was running him back in, or we were just running together. It's hard to say, but yeah. But you'll find it. I know you have it there.
I do. And there's always crazy stuff that happens when we do events. Again, I have to keep remembering we're live, but I'm going to tell it anyways. So I remember our former premier, Brian Gadon, who always came to Run for Women, and I'm sure he'll register virtually. And I'm sure he's listening. He bought also a lobster supper already. Thank you. So he was coming to speak at the event, and he shows up late, and that's fine. Busy man. And he gets out of the van, and we're giving him his shirt so he can come and talk. anyways, and we were running late. So I remember like saying, let's go, we got to get you on stage, you know? And he goes, but I really got to pee. Like, and I said, well, I'm sorry, but the nearest porta potty, like there's porta potties right there, which, you know, you don't really want to tell the premier needs a porta potty. And the nearest bathrooms, because we always leave for Millennium, is up at the Coliseum. And he's like, well, maybe security. And I was like, there's no time, hold it. So I remember thinking the whole time when he's talking, this poor thing, you know, it was so nice of him to come. He's really got to pee. And then they whisked him off for him to run the 10K. So I don't even think he went to the bathroom until after. Anyway,
wow.
He missed the floral decorated porta potties.
They're always nicely decorated.
Yeah,
always.
We got to do porta potties upright, you know, like you got to have the motivational sayings, you know, you got to have the nice
porta
flowers. That's right. I am going to miss that part about virtual.
Yeah,
like,
no
with
kidding.
that, you know, right? Like that's going to be really hard. But,
Also the excitement of having everybody there too, right?
yeah. And last
everybody
year
together.
That's a Virtue, which was amazing, especially
yeah.
for young girls that, you know, were inspiring, that were excited to get to meet her and take her picture. And so how much things have changed like so quickly, right? With the pandemic, the idea of even having an event, let alone a local Olympian be able to come. But yeah. Any other funny Run for Women stories? Jill, getting all your runners.
I mean, there's always like some confusion and chaos, but usually we can pull it all together at the last minute and it works out for the best.
I also remember how the sun tends to split open for us. It's like someone's looking after us.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like we just have beautiful weather. It's just, and it's usually early May, so it's hit or miss. I do have heard terrible stories of people that do set up the night before and getting soaked. So the lovely volunteers and the team at the running room, like Chris Acker's team, and the team at Choppers, having to put everything together, and sometimes not so nice weather.
Yeah.
Stories of Chris Acker having to take a shovel where there's still snow in parts of the trail so that people don't go sliding. Really muddy sections, and we feel
we've had some interesting trail conditions for sure. Because, well, East Coast Canada, you just never know what you're going to get. We've done some snowy ones, and we've had some really muddy ones as well. But
snow still on the side, and it's 25 degrees out.
Right? Like, why is that even a thing? How does that happen?
I know.
And somehow the snow doesn't go.
we shouldn't have that happen, hopefully, on September 27th. So we've gone virtual. Everybody knows we've gone virtual. You should know. We're super excited about it. We're still doing it. And I mean, I think it's amazing that Choppers has decided, you know, not to cancel the event, and that now more than ever, we need to be getting out. We need to look after our mental health. We need to enjoy fresh air and take the time to do that. So for registration, if people were already registered, they will also receive a $10 gift card for next year. However, people that sign up virtually, they only pay $40. And the most exciting part, the full $40 goes to us at the Crisis Center. Because as much as doing events are exciting, there's a lot of cost to those. So it's really exciting that when you do stuff virtually, the costs are completely different. So they're able to donate the full $40. Shoppers Drug Mart is nationally, which is great. There's a lot of charities across the country that we wouldn't survive without that funding. For us anyways, it's our only major fundraiser at this point. We did $65,000 last year, over 1,000 people. So there was a lot of panic about whether or not we could go virtual. So for $40, they get to help a great cause, which I hope is enough reason. But if it isn't, I'm now realizing the text isn't in the shirt, so I'm already feeling like I might just be a little bit inappropriate. But it's Together We're Unstoppable, which I think is awesome. The shirt was created prior to the pandemic, and I don't think there's a cooler saying, right? So who doesn't want to wear that proudly? Of course, it's tech gear, which is nice. The bracelets this year, I decided to, I asked for one in advance. So I promise I will take it off until I've earned it. It says Unstoppable on it.
Oh, nice.
And
so
it's
pretty.
It's fit to size because I have the wrist of a 5-year-old. So all my bangles, I used to lose them. So I really like this one. Like, I just think it's really cute and has like the same messaging on it. And the swag bag. Like, I'm really excited. This is my favorite year for the swag bag.
Oh, that's
So
exciting.
it's loaded. I know. I got really excited. I got it in the mail yesterday, and I was like, well, this is good timing. So bag, there's all kinds of awesome stuff in it. The Batista water, like the dry shampoo, which we all need to use. I'm always scared sometimes because I find it makes me look like I have gray hair.
I have the same problem.
Yeah, Cindy's okay, but I probably just don't apply it correctly. But I am excited to have it because sometimes if I can sleep in a little bit, I will do that. There's also, I got really excited about 2 lots of like the lip glosses. So there's a Blistex.
Oh.
And there's also a Burt's Bees, I believe. There's Clear Eyes, which is really cool.
I use a lot of that.
Yeah. My favorite. Yeah, for the allergies. Very similar to COVID-19 symptoms, but for allergies.
Right.
A full deodorant, which is really awesome. It's Outlast Sweat and Odor, which is great for the event.
Might need that after I run.
Yeah, we're doing a live
before.
You know, I might need to put it on halfway through this. Whatever. There's also a full bottle of the body wash.
Nice.
Right? It's the really yummy one, the shea butter one, which I already use. So I was kind of most excited about even this being in the bag. There's Vita Water.
Nice.
I know. Toothbrush.
Can't forget your oral hygiene. It's important.
No.
Speaking of that, do you know that these exist? They're Listerine mints.
What?
Mints? No.
Yeah.
I've never heard of them before.
Yeah, I know. They're literally pop-in go tabs, chewable tablets, clean mint.
Huh.
Yeah, I think those are super cool. Even though now we have to be 6 feet, so I'm a little bit like, do I care about bad breath? I probably should. Anyway,
Tell if you're wearing a mask if you've got bad breath or not.
Eventually we won't. Or that,
I was just going to say, it's all about
That's
self-care. When you're wearing that mask, you want your breath to be
right.
good.
You don't want your own bad breath.
it's also great for COVID. It's the Camille really heavy-duty hand cream. And you know how we overwash our hands? I don't know about
well, that and the sanitizer. Holy mac.
Oh.
I know. When COVID started, like my hands were terrible.
Yeah.
Because I'm a hypochondriac, like I have health anxiety, so pandemic's really not good for people like us. So I really needed hand cream. Good 3-in-1 cleansing facial wipes, and it just kind of keeps going. White toothpaste.
So much in it.
They're really good herbal essence, like argan oil shampoo, and it's a really good travel size too.
Yeah, it is.
Because we will travel again, I do believe.
Someday.
Yeah, and I can still bring it to St. Andrews. I got a shower there too.
True.
Yeah, so there's lots of really good stuff in it. Face masks, really good for de-stressing.
Nice.
So it's over $100 in product. And like I said, like I just took out the big hitters. Like there's lots of other stuff in here. So all kinds of samples, creams. It's pretty awesome. Oh, there's the Burt's Bees.
They're always awesome. The swag bags.
Yes.
Always awesome.
It feels like Christmas when we get them.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, so of course we're super excited. We hope people still register. They're running out of time to register, so they need to register soon. Lindsay, another one of my friends, is joining us. She was having a little bit of tech issues, and she just kept trying her. So she'll be in a minute, and then we'll chit chat with her a little bit and introduce her. So yeah, the event is September 27th. We would love for people to do it on that day, just because nationally, there's strength in numbers. So for us to be able to do that and be in the shirts and post it on social media, it really shows people that you care for the charity, but also that you're taking time for yourself, that it's a really important 30-40 minutes that you're taking. So registration, I believe, will close around the 17th-ish. So get in that registration while you still can. We're at 830 some people.
Oh, nice.
That's a good number.
I'm being ambitious. And last year we had 1,049. So let's get there anyways. Yeah. Break the pandemic. Like we can get there, right? So register. You can create a team. You can go as an individual. It doesn't really matter. Yay, Lindsay. Are you here? Can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yay. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Why don't you
What-
introduce yourself, Lindsay, real quick?
What would you like to know?
Everything.
Whatever. Whatever you want to share live.
I don't really have too much to tell. My name is Lindsay and I'm a runner. And not working, so just finding myself right now.
Yeah, yeah. And I think we'll talk a lot about that, like taking the time for ourselves. So yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about the importance of exercise on mental health. It's something that we take for granted, that we don't realize that we need. So I wanted to see, like, what have you guys been doing since the pandemic, like for yourself, like for self-care? Like, who wants to talk about that? Like, what did you decide? How long did it take you to realize that it's only fun for so long with PJs and Netflix and chill?
Right.
I do not have that.
One week, and then it was boring. Like week 2, so like week 2, I was like full on college depression. Like it was like I felt like I was back in college when I had no friends and no money, because it's just like me in my apartment with my cats. But it was like, it was 1 week. It was fun. It was cool. It was like, ooh, it's like a storm that's happening outside and we're going to watch the thunder. And then, yeah, week 2 was horrible. But what I've been doing is I've been going to the beach a lot. I've become a beach bum. I have the Costco chair, the Atomic Bahama one with the backpack and the cooler built in. So whenever I have a tan, I started going to the beach when there was still ice. So since March, it was still ice, and I've been every week since.
And have you found like that fresh air has made a world of difference?
Just like to be able to just sit and relax for hours at length it's done so much. I'm just so much more happier than I was before the pandemic, which is like, how is that possible? But like taking those steps, it's gone so much further. You try to get back to where you were, but it's actually it's pushed me further than where I was.
I think that's the thing about the pandemic. Like, we're so quick to talk about the things that we've lost, but like there's some things that I think for all of us we've learned and we're going to keep doing, right? So I think it's for us to assess and say, was I doing that before because I wanted to, or was it because I pivoted to, well, that's my normal and that's just what I'm going to be doing. So I think that it's a great lesson to readjust to some of that. What about you, Lindsay? I follow you on Facebook and you are a machine, like a running machine. I'll be honest and tell you I'm so jealous. I'm newly back at running after an injury and I'm dying after 2 minutes. And you're rocking it. So why don't you chat with us a little bit about what you've been up to for exercise and how that's been for your mental health?
Well, I think that my experience might be a little different because I haven't been working. So since November, I've already got over my Netflix and chill stage when the pandemic hit. So I already had a pretty good routine, but my mental health really suffered when I was housebound. So it's just for me like a non-negotiable. My husband and my son are like awesome cheerleaders. So they always like support me, and my son's 8, so he'll wake up and be like, have you worked out yet? Can we go work out? So it makes it hard to say no to that.
Yeah. Oh, that's super cool.
So yeah, it's just been like making the time and finding like friends to go for a run with, or I started playing soccer again, which is scary in a pandemic, but it gets me out.
Yeah.
So it's just making it a priority, because without it, the mind starts to wander. So
yeah, I think that's the thing. Like it's getting ourselves out of the COVID nonstop craziness, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because when we're exercising, we're usually not following Facebook or social media, or so
Right.
it's kind of like an escape, you know. Nadine, I know you've been out a lot, like walking, and you've been feeling better, feeling healthier. Why don't you talk to me a little bit about what you've been up to?
Well, during the pandemic when it started, I went walking every day for an hour, and then I kind of took a pause after an injury, and then I'm back at it again, walking again. Because for me too, I find that when I get out there and walk or swim or what have you, I feel better. And sometimes I'll even listen to like an audiobook or some music when I'm going out, just to kind of change what's going on in my head. And just even audiobooks, you can learn something new and fun. So that's really what I've been doing, is getting out there and walking. I've always been able to drive my 3 girls to their activities where they work out for like 5 to 12 hours a week each, not during the pandemic, mind you. So it really had to be a priority for me too, to be out too during the pandemic, and just all around, to make sure that my mental health is good and that my fitness is good. So it's just really making it a priority.
Yeah, I can see that being really hard, like for people that are here with me today that have kids. Like I have 2 dogs, and I really have no excuse, because they need to be walking, and I still don't take the time to do like enough, right? Like I'll think of them like, wow, I've done nothing for like a week for myself, like physically. So hats off to you guys that are able to do it. Because Jill, like, you have, you know, kiddo at home, school teacher. Like, what was that like? All of a sudden, no school, no.
It's really interesting. First of all, as a single parent, to just only be with a child 24/7 and not have any other adult interaction is a little weird. I feel like, you know, maybe I regressed some socially, and I had to build my social skills back up again once I reemerged into the world out of my little isolated bubble. So there were definitely some challenges with it. I mean, I was worried about my students, so trying to reach out and stay in contact with those families. You're worried about your own child. And even though I'm an elementary school teacher, I don't teach immersion, which is what my own child takes. So, you know, I'm sure every parent was feeling like they might be a little bit inadequate at the homeschooling. And don't worry, even teachers felt that way, because it's totally different trying to teach your own child than it is trying to teach a classroom full of other people's children.
Yeah.
So we tried to take on some new hobbies. We'd never had a garden before. So we started a vegetable garden this year, and it's been an amazing experience. My little guy has totally bought in. He's out there every single day now, checking to see what's new and what's popping up.
Nice.
We've learned a lot, and I'm really hoping that that's something we can continue on in future years, even when there's not a pandemic. Because
another positive
thing for us. So yeah, to grow your own food is pretty cool thing.
I can imagine. I kill plastic things. It's not something.
I always thought I had a brown thumb. It turns out I'm just not meant to have flowers. I'm growing vegetables.
There might be hope for me to do that.
There might be.
Are you still doing something for yourself outside, or doing something?
Definitely. Yeah, normally my running and walking time was sort of my alone time, but like I said, as a single parent, you don't really have that luxury during a pandemic. So we still continue to do it. You know, he'd go ahead a bit on his little scooter, and I'd call him back if he got too far. But just getting outdoors and getting that fresh air was still really important, because, you know, otherwise you don't know what time it is, you don't know what day it is. Things all really blur if you never leave the house. So just getting out in the fresh air, and it's nice to, even though you have to stay 6 feet away from other people walking, to even just say hello and see other humans.
No.
The world is still out there.
Yeah, like I'm even overly excited to see you people in person, because I haven't seen you guys in person forever, right? And human interaction, you know. So I think
we miss it.
Yeah, and it's been awesome, right? Like going outside and seeing someone, you know, even a stranger, and being able to actually say hi, and that you're not this fearful, you know, with the mask and the shield and everything else. I think that's a great benefit of going outside, and that's something we wanted to talk about on the call. Is when what I'm hearing everybody saying is about giving yourself permission. And I think that's a really key message that I want you and everybody else watching to leave with today, because we know that, you know, physical activity, you know, physiologically has benefits, and we know that getting out with mild to moderate activity really shoots your serotonin levels, right? Not to be all therapy about it, but at the end of the day, those serotonin levels, and that's something that Cindy as a pharmacist knows a lot about, that it's really important for our body, and that it can have, you know, a serotonin shoot from a good 20-30 minute walk. A lot of studies have shown that it has done the same impact as you know, a mild, you know, antidepressant. I'm not saying that you don't need meds. I'm somebody who very much believes that medication has a place in everybody's recovery, along with therapy and proper nutrition and exercise. But my God, like, take the time and do that run or walk for women, because you won't regret it. Like, has anybody felt crappier when they make the decision to get up and go, right? Like, no. I always think, like, maybe if I just put on my sports bra and I change into my clothes, there's no turning back. I'm not going to sit on the couch, because I know I'll feel better, like, on the back end, you know?
Yeah. No, I can attest to how, oh, sorry, traffic. I can attest to actually how that happened. For me, like, once the COVID shutdown happened, I was actually working more. You know, in the job that I have, I had to spend not just 5 days a week, but I was almost working 7 days a week, and was very involved in things that were happening that we had to do. And a lot of other things that were happening, like social media, news. I got to the point where I was so overwhelmed. I was actually tearful a lot of the times. And I recognized that, you know, I was just overwhelmed. So I had to take a day. Actually, I took 2 days away from work. I took myself away from social media. I took myself away from the TV news, and I took myself out walking. And it was the best therapy. The fresh air, meeting neighbors. I live in the country, so, you know, I don't get to always see or know all of my neighbors, because we're further apart than most homes. And so even though I got to see them from the other side of the street, I did get to meet them and their dogs. And it didn't take very long for me to start feeling myself again. It was what I needed. And that getting out and walking and the fresh air and just being in nature just really made all the difference in the world.
Yeah, I think once we realize those clear impacts, and we see them in our mood and in our attitude, and how you sleep better usually afterwards, and that spills over not just on you, but on your family and on your colleagues and on your pets and your children. Like, it has benefits. Absolutely. You know, you can't fill from an empty cup. So we want you to fill your cup with that serotonin, so that you can, you know, feel free, feel a bit more balanced. And it sounds silly that it's something as easy as doing anything physical for 20-30 minutes. You know, you don't need expensive equipment. You don't need to be an athlete. You don't need to be in great shape. Just one foot in front of the other. And I find there's such a release there. I know for me, I leave my stress on the pavement. You know, it's the road never judges me back. And I feel like I can, if I've had a really bad day with my job, I can't really talk to people about it other than my therapist, which I do. But sometimes it's nice to be able just to, like, let it all go. So I think once we recognize the critical role that exercise plays in our mental health, I think it's much easier then to give ourselves permission.
Absolutely.
And I think for a lot of people, the bad side of the pandemic a little bit, or at least what I'm seeing, is the fact that we're trying to do it all even more. Because like Jill said, kids were home more. And Cindy, you've got children as well. So does Lindsay, Nadine. Actually, everybody does, but me and Dylan, I think. So I think it's hard for people probably to carve out the time to give yourself permission. And it's sad that we still come last. Because we're like trying to do stuff for everybody else. Yeah, absolutely. And even if you have parents, you don't have to be a parent if you have parents, you know, that are going through all of this too. And you worry about them as well, especially if you have them that have parents who are aging. I think everybody, whether you have your own children or not, there's always somebody in your life that you feel like depends on you. Absolutely. You know, whether it's siblings or elderly relatives, even just your close friend group is, you know, can be very, very reliant on one another.
So there's stress in wanting to do the right thing for all of those people, but there's also a comfort in those bonds and relationships, regardless of what your family situation is like.
Absolutely.
I know, I think we worry that we're going to come off maybe like selfish, or that, you know, we're too involved in our own needs. But I think as a society, if we're telling people, like, if we show the good example and we start giving ourselves permission to do some of that stuff, I think it'll help.
Yeah. And to your point, if you don't fill your own cup, you can't share it with others, right?
Exactly.
It's really important. Yeah.
The consequence. So Lindsay, you talked about that a little bit, that you're really good at making sure that it's a priority. I'm positive there's days that it's probably like harder than others. I've seen it because you're very good at sharing your journey on Facebook. It must be hard to always take the time to do it.
It is. It's just, I guess, one of those things that, you know, the payoff is totally worth it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, for me, so to exercise would be the same as like brushing your teeth. Like, it's just, I'm going to do it. And there's days that I don't want to do it, but it's just pushing yourself to do a little bit. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go out for a kilometer, and if I want to walk, I'll walk. And if I want to run, I'll run. And then if I'm not digging it, I'll just go back home. But when you get out, you always feel so much better than sitting on the couch, worrying or reading the news or seeing what people are sharing on social media. So I think that's kind of like the self-care thing. I used to think like self-care was doing my nails or having a bath or, you know, enjoying a glass of wine, but it totally isn't. It's taking care of yourself and nourishing your body. And so the more I realized that those things made me feel better, like with my anxiety, I just do more of it, because the end goal is just to feel good, right?
Yeah. And I think like Cindy, like from pharmacist Cindy, I keep bringing up two Cindys. So her and I talked this morning a little bit about, like, you know, as a pharmacist, they were a core critical service that had to keep running with the pandemic. And, you know, I was there the other day and she said, I'm sorry, I seem like a hot mess. And I'm like, not really, to me, I'm just impressed that you have it so together. Like, you know, so Cindy, maybe you talk to us a little bit about what that's like to juggle, you know, all the stuff you have to do in a day.
Well, yeah, I mean, I had probably a different experience than a lot of you guys, because I was working the whole time. I mean, the other Cindy was also, but there was a few times I was in there basically 14 days in a row just to get people caught up, and it was crazy, and everybody was stressed. So you end up having the stress of the patients because they just want it to get in and get out, and they, you know, so there was a lot of stress, a lot of extra time spent. So I felt I have the guilt of not spending enough time with my kids and not making any time for myself. So as I sit here, even it's Lindsay just said, take a time and go for 1 kilometer. And it's a really good idea for me, because I don't make the time because I'm so busy. And then when I'm not at work, I'm trying to do everything with the kids. So I do sit there and go, wow, it's, you know, midnight and I'm not doing anything. So I need to take that time and get out for myself. And that's why I'm excited for the run coming up. And I need to start training a little bit, because I don't think I'll be out for 40 minutes or 20 minutes. It's going to take me a little longer, but my husband and I have been talking about that. We need to make that time to go and just focus on ourselves, and, you know, the kids will be okay. So, and work will be okay, because I got a great team, right?
Yeah. I think that getting out the door is sometimes literally the hardest part. Like, it is so easy to make excuses and to talk yourself. Well, maybe it's just me, but I find it super easy to talk myself out of doing something that would totally be good for me and that I should be doing, and that I know I'll enjoy once I'm out there doing it. Yes. But sometimes you know, getting out the door is the hardest part. And once you're out there, you're like, oh, this is great, I can go even farther. But it's to sometimes to psych yourself up to get enough motivation to actually get out that front door is the hardest step.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, right?
Right.
And then you just get that one step out there and get going. And then once you get that one step in, you're on your way. You're really on your way.
And I think some of it too is like, we see social media constantly. So like, I'll be honest, I will look at somebody and I'm like, how is this person able to want to go every day walking? Like I forget that, you know, like Lindsay said to me, I see her and I'm like, she always wants to go. This is amazing. And I need some Lindsay like motivation, right?
Yeah.
But like, I'm not in her head and I'm not in Jill's head or anybody else's with like that internal dialogue of should I go? Should I not go? And I think that brings me to something I wanted to talk about, which is setting goals. And when I was kind of preparing for today's chat, I was, you know, sometimes you're like, I don't want to talk about this because I'm terrible at it. Like, so you know, but then I thought, oh, this is really something important to talk about. I used to feel, you know, like I have to get out X amount of times a week. And especially when I was running a lot in training, and then I would consider everything less than that as a failure. But I think that 1 kilometer idea is a really great one because lately I found during the pandemic, it became more about what can I do today that is just movement for 20 minutes. And maybe instead of caring about what it looks like, as long as it's something. So I stopped caring so much about it having to be running all the time. And maybe it can be yoga, maybe it can be meditation, maybe it can be this bike that's behind me that I've used twice that I just now put Muriel's vest on. Like, you know, what are some things that we can do? So I think it's about goal setting. So does anybody feel like they're good at goal setting, or do you feel like your goals might sometimes be a bit unrealistic? Or
I'm spectacular at setting goals. I can set a goal like no other.
I'm gonna make the list. Don't worry.
So,
make a list.
my COVID goal. So I downloaded TikTok. So I did the TikTok. I'm still on the TikTok. So my COVID goal was to up my TikTok game by learning how to do the splits.
Oh. Nice. Did you get it?
No.
And how many really nice pants have you ruined in it?
Like that's all. Get leggings. A nice pair of leggings will get you anywhere you need to go in life.
That's true.
Yeah.
What's that?
Let's know. Did
you
try
live demonstration coming up today of where you're at with that goal?
Yes. Yes.
I'm back to listen. Enough time has gone by. But I'm back to day one.
Anybody else are good at goal setting when it comes to like what you want to do for physical activity?
I try to set a goal in the day rather than setting a larger sort of goal, especially where I was recovering from injury in my hip. But even for the day, like if I got a bunch of stuff that's going on, but every day I try to do at least 1, 2, or if I set it for 5 and I'm not really feeling it, then I'll do it for 2, but I'll just make it whatever my goal is before I go out. I make that my goal and then I do that. And then the next day I set a new goal and go out and do it, whatever that one is, depending on how I'm feeling for the day.
So kind of having that flexibility there and something that's like achievable.
Yeah. And for me, it just takes the pressure off. If I've got something else that's going on that I have to attend, then I don't get disappointed if I can't get out and do the 5. At least I can get out and do the 1, right? Or I can do the 2.
Yeah.
So
Giving yourself permission to listen to your body.
Oh yes.
Right.
Like some days we need to just recover and not push ourselves. So the fact that you're not preset, because like I feel good today. I worked out today. I meditated today. Like genuinely I did. I did my visualization. Like today's a great day, but tomorrow might not be a great day. And that might be because of my mental state for the day. It might be because of my physical state. And if you're breaking it down day by day, you're not going to have that long-term guilt because it's so easy. Just as I miss 1 stretch from the splits, and then I'm off my game, like I'm off the course, and then I just feel like there's no point.
Yeah.
So that is a really spectacular strategy of just waking up and accepting where you are in the morning versus we need to plan our stuff the night before. But when it comes to this stuff, just looking at where you are right now and then setting your goal for now.
Call it being present.
Mindfulness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mindfulness.
Dylan just cracked the code on mindfulness. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Here today on Facebook Live, you know. But no, I think you're right. And then you're getting out walking a lot. Do you set yourself like a weekly goal, daily goal? What are you doing?
Well, normally my goal is like to get out and do 5 kilometers a day or 60 minutes. But I also have some flexibility in that, you know, I give myself permission if my body is not feeling it that day, that it's okay to take a rest day. But I remember one day when I was kind of low in my journey to feeling better, that my psychologist said, just go out for 10 minutes. Just go out for 10 minutes. And if you feel good after 10 minutes, keep going. If you don't, go back home. So now that 10 minutes has turned into, I do 60 minutes a day, usually, of something. And that's really, we broke it down to, that's 4% of my day. If I can't give myself like that much time for me, then, you know, it's important. At the end of the day, it's important. So yeah, my goal is 60 minutes of something every day, whether it's swimming, yoga. It's usually walking. Now that it's summer, there's more swimming, but yeah, that's my goal. But with the caveat that there is flexibility for listen to my body. I'm not in feeling it. It's okay to take a rest day.
I know. So, I think, yeah, we need to give ourselves the permission to do things, but also not be so hard on ourselves if we, you know, can't run a marathon day one, right? Like, and I don't think I realized, and I should, because it's pretty basic, but 4%, you're right. Like, how sad is that we don't think we deserve 4% for us, like to go outside and do something and to take care of our physical fitness for our mental health, you know? And in school, Jill, like, you can talk about this a little bit as a teacher, but like, we're still not really teaching kids about how mental health impacts everything else, right? We do a lot of phys ed, but we don't really do that link between doing this will be really good for your mental health and it impacts everything else in life, right? So I think we become adults and we're kind of like, we know what's important, but we don't have any tools and we're not sure how to address it or how even to speak to somebody about the need to self-care and say to our partners, I'm sorry, like, I love you, or say to the kids, but I think I'm going to say that now, Nadine. I really like that. I'm going to say, I want my 4%. No, like we talk about pay equity, that women are still not making, for every $2, we make $1.80 something. And for a couple of weeks, I went around and said, I want my 18 cents. Well, like, I want my 4% because I can't believe that that's all that it is. And I often skip it. Like I just don't take it.
You don't take it.
Yeah. And don't apologize for the 4%. Don't say to your spouse or kids, like, sorry, because they need to know that it's important. So when you apologize for something before you do it, that kind of, it lessens the actual act of doing it. So, I mean, I think kids seeing their parents, you know, if it's the 4%, like, hey, Joe, I'm going to go do my 4%. What are you going to do today? Kids see the value in that. And I think that that's really important as a parent to teach them those things. It's the same thing as nutrition or, you know, French. Jill, I feel you on the French thing. But I think that it's important that, like, I selfishly never apologize to my husband for doing what I do every day. Like, he supports me, but I'm like, you're on parenting? Okay, I'm going upstairs to the gym, or I'm going for a run, or I'm going for a walk, but do it and don't apologize for it.
Yeah, make it part of just what you're going to do, and that's it. Yeah. Because you're right. The minute you apologize for it, you're internalizing that somehow you're doing something wrong or you feel guilty about it. I think
it's like feeling as if you don't deserve to take that time for yourself because there's so much else you could be doing. Yeah. But like, it's super important to take a little bit of that time for yourself.
Yeah. The dishes can wait, right?
Yeah. I'm never in a hurry for the dishes.
Right.
Most things can wait. I don't want to ignore all of the wonderful guests that are actually hanging with us and are sending us some comments. So really funny note. So Margot says, I'm also a synchronized swimming coach, Dylan. I can totally help you get those splits. So check out Margot on the post and maybe she can
I already responded to Margot. I'm gonna take
Oh, you're done. You're done. Okay, you guys you're gonna start a challenge.
Got practice at my house, Dylan, in the pool with Margot.
Yeah.
side split
invitation.
2020. Like that hashtag needs to happen. Side split 2020.
You need to be TikToking, these.
TikTok is not ready for it.
And Wendy says, back in mid-March, when our world changed, I challenged myself a 55 hike challenge to complete 55 hikes before my 55th birthday in June. I celebrated by logging 55 hikes and 625 kilometers on my birthday.
Wow.
It's now a way of life for me. She
That's
said it was it was such a shift physically and mentally. Mackenzie mentioned that she likes scheduling time into her day to help motivate herself to get out and exercise because of the accountability.
Yes.
So I think that depends on who you are. Are you going to be the person that makes you accountable, or the whole day, oh no, this is coming, I don't want to do it, and it becomes like another. So I think it depends on, you need to do what's best for you in your goal setting. Some people need it in the agenda so that they're penciling it in. And then for other people, it becomes, another to do. And I don't think treating ourselves like with our 4% should not be something that's considered like a terrible to do, So I think it depends. Sandra says, I signed up for a virtual challenge, which is 250 miles of walk and run in the summer. She says, that's been pushing me hard and it has kept me sane.
Yeah.
And then Margot says to Dylan, woohoo, hashtag side splits 2020. Can you promise me that when you do Run for Women, you can be outside, with our shirt and show us the progress? Like, can you do that for me?
I have seen videos. So I did like full on like, this wasn't like let me just like throw this at the wall and see if it sticks. Like, I did research on it. There are some people who learned how to do the side splits in a week. So September 27th, I think I can do it.
You're gonna get it done?
I think I can do it because I'm like, we're in New Brunswick, so we just announced an emergency provincial election because we need that now. So what I've been doing is like, I've decided to give myself exercise, meditation every single day until election day. So I'm moving my body, I'm stretching and doing the side splits. So
I think that people should support your efforts by donating to the center for your side split challenge. Like, I think that this needs to happen.
Yeah, I will do the splits even if it kills me. I mean, we've got a pharmacist. We've got a pharmacist on here, so surely she'll get the hookup so I won't be in any pain at all. But I will do the side split on September 20th. If we get how many people?
Well, we need to get more than 1,000. I mean, we just have to, because there's so many people in our province that, need to get out there. And I think we need to have 1,000 people join us to show that they're giving themselves, the permission to get out there and do it. Plus, as a side note, there's that rub cream in the swag bag.
Right.
So just saying.
You might need laughter.
Yeah. So I think it might be helpful for you. So maybe pack it with you, put it on prior to, I'm just saying it's in the swag bag. So even the bag's telling you that you have to do these. You have to do this.
It's gonna happen.
Do it at the end of your 5K though, so that you're actually like stretched and warmed up a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Say that. Don't do it at the beginning. You may not get the 5K in.
Yeah.
And come see me before you go.
And Margot even sent you a link now for the side splits. So maybe there's on how to do them. So maybe there's new research.
Consider it done.
She's taking care of you.
That's perfect.
And there's people that are joining us too from the Canadian Mental Health Association, and they said they're excited to be participating and promoting the event. It's so surprising how the situation has really impacted our self-care, and that our self-care kind of takes a back seat. So the event gives everybody this opportunity to kind of remind ourselves of the health benefits of physical activity and how it's really impactful. So she said, I went from scheduled fitness to 1 hour daily to almost none. And she said, our dog has helped me closer on track. And I think too, as much as we have distractions, sometimes those distractions can create reasons to get out, right? Like,
yeah.
Because Cindy, I know that your daughter is in cheerleading, right? She's still doing cheerleading?
Yep.
And so for that, you know, having to run her around, when you drop her off, now you can get your walk in.
I should probably condition with her. She does that every day. I probably should join her in the basement doing whatever, trying to do whatever she's doing. I don't think I'm going to be on the cheer mom team or anything because I've got a lot of way to go, but she's active every day trying to keep up with, because she wasn't able to do anything. And she actually had a broken ankle in December. So she wasn't able to do cheer since she hasn't done much or hadn't done much since November. So she really focused once her ankle was healed on doing her conditioning, her stretching, and was able to get back into doing her normal things like her back tucks and such. And it just proves that with any kind of movement, you know, you can the movement can get you to your goal, even if it's only a small, even if she was in the basement and was able to then do her back tucks basically on her first try. So, you know, it proves that you can get somewhere. And if you set a goal, you can achieve that goal. So if you start with 1 kilometer and you get up to 2 or 3 or 4 or 10, whatever it is you end up doing, you have to start somewhere. And if you start small and focus on it and focus on yourself, you get further, or you can go a long way.
Who doesn't want Cindy as their neighborhood pharmacist right there?
She's mine. I love her.
You're banging out a lot of scripts, obviously, right now, and you must have been super, super swamped during COVID-19.
We were.
And your daughter can maybe also teach Dylan how to split appropriately.
Well, you might have to teach her. Her splits are not that great, so I'm gonna get that link and down. I've been at her for the splits for whatever reason. She's having a rough go with it, so I'm going to get that link. Like, he's gonna do this, so you need to do this.
Listen,
so with a couple.
You give me free Kepra, I will get her set up. And now everybody else except for Cindy knows what's going on because I need some free Kepra. None of you other folks know what's going on. Cindy knows.
Cindy knows.
You give me some Kepra, I'll give your daughter the splits. Don't worry.
So other than a very inappropriate drug exchange for physical activity, what type of takeaways did you guys get from today in terms of goal setting and permission? Maybe we'll just go around. Anything that you're going to take with you after the call, other than the fact that, of course, I'm so thankful that you joined me and that I was able to bug you on a beautiful day amongst all of your crazy responsibilities, everything going on at work, at home, life. What's some takeaways that you want everybody who's listening to kind of bring with them?
I mean, it's $40.
It's $40.
It's
and
$40.
All of it goes to the charity so that we can maintain what we're doing. It's a hard time for charities. There's been a spike in cases, staff of 2,000 people a year. You know, because of Shoppers Drug Mart and the run and everybody that joins the event. So it's twofold. We want you to help the cause, but we want you to help yourself with your 4%, because if you don't, you'll become a client. And I don't want you to have to be at that rock bottom. I want you to take the time now. So Dylan's realized that he gets a big return on investment for his registration. So he's going to do team #splits 2020, I think now. And you'll probably have more people join your team than mine. And I'll be like, what's happening? What about you, Jill?
I think that just making sure that I try to find that time one way or another is something that I kind of always knew in the back of my mind that I needed to work on, but this has just been a really big reminder that, you can't keep putting it off. You do need to make this a goal, to find a little bit of alone time in every single day to do something that's going to help keep me mentally and physically healthy, because I think I'm probably not the only one who's gained a little bit of COVID weight. So, you know, trying to get your life back on track can be a challenge. And this is just one little tiny cog in the wheel that's going to help me get back there.
Yeah, I think the COVID weight too gives us a lot of stress with like our body image issues then, and it becomes like this really big cycle.
Oh yeah.
You know, back to work, how come nothing fits? It's been an occurrence for everybody. What about you, Nadine? What are you taking away?
I'm taking away that I'm gonna still plug at the getting out there, getting the kilometers in, whether it's 1, whether it's 5, whatever it is, just getting out there and doing it and giving myself permission to not apologizing for it. That was a big way for it, to not apologize that, you know, I need this time for me, because I too am a solo parent of three girls. So I too don't get any more alone time right now with the girls home all the time. So yeah, so making sure that I do get out there and exercise and not apologize.
What about you, Cindy J?
I like that too, Nadine. I like the fact that I shouldn't have to apologize or ask for permission, right? Really, to do that, and that you need to take the time, and I always try to fit it into my schedule, and rather than try to fit it into my schedule, I just gotta say, I'm going. You know, it's this time is important to me. I also learned one other thing, is that Jill, I can help you with your flowers if you help me with my vegetables, because I did the vegetable garden this year too, but I will starve.
We grew so many zucchinis. I was like, what do I do with these?
I can bake. I can do that.
What about you, Lindsay?
I'm trying to brainstorm how I can get like my soccer team involved in this run. And it's,
awesome.
I'll help you with that. That's not a problem.
It's funny because although soccer is primarily running, a lot of people don't like running outside of the sport. So I'm going to get on them to start it. But I think just like remembering that through all of this, like you're not alone. Like when I'm struggling to get my shoes on, like not comparing yourself to anybody else. Everybody's struggling, whether it's like exercise or mental health, and just that feeling is a good, not that everybody's struggling, but like that you're not alone in all of this, although a lot of us are spending a lot of time alone. So
that's a really good point. And that's true. You know, there's nothing, we have no choice. The pandemic impacts everybody. So at least we can start by the fact that there's nobody who hasn't been touched by it in one way or another, right? So sometimes, not that misery loves company, but it does help, like you said. And what about you, Cindy? What do you think you took away? That you need to take time?
Yes. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I need to get out and get that fresh air and clear my mind, because it's always racing, and it'll help me sleep better, because that's one of my challenges always. Anxiety as well, as you know. So yeah, I'm definitely going to start fitting it in so that I can give myself that time and start feeling good about myself, or better about myself. So that's my focus. Schedule it in.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. And of course, when we hang up, we have to do the really annoying thing that everybody is doing, is the wave. You know, the Zoom call wave. And people say, why is there wave?
I didn't know this was a thing.
It's a thing. Someone says, how come everybody is waving at Zoom calls? Because when you leave a meeting, you're not like, you know,
I'm leaving, okay.
Yeah, it's a Zoom thing.
Hands-free. Hands-free calling.
Don't touch.
Absolutely. So everyone, this will be posted, of course. It'll be uploaded, obviously, here on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. So if anybody wants to watch it later and you heard little nuggets that you want to review again, and a huge thank you to all of you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for all the work you're doing.
Thank you. Get your 4%.
4%.